On this hunt, I'm doing something that should probably be illegal. I'm taking two comedians, Joe Rogan and Bryan Callen, out on their first hunt.
Hey guys, Sonicare toothbrush.
You brought a Sonicare toothbrush?
Oh yeah, when I hunt, when I eat meat, I got floss and I got my Sonicare.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take one of the hooves from one of the animals and I'm gonna beat it against a rock until it becomes soft enough that I can use it as a toothbrush.
You're such a man.
That's what I'm doing, bro.
Dude, I'm producing estrogen just standing around you.
I'm Steven Ranella. To me, hunting isn't only about the pursuit of an animal. It's about who we are and what we're made of. I live to hunt and hunt to live. I am a meat eater. I have a handful of favorite places that I'll always return to, and one is the Missouri Breaks region of north central Montana. It's rugged country, remote and seldom visited, and it's the perfect place to hunt one of my most beloved game animals, mule deer. So there's no better place to initiate beginners into the fraternity of the hunters.
I'm already cold. I'm already freezing.
What's up, brother?
Good to see you.
Thanks for getting me out.
Yeah.
Up, Paul.
Hey Steve, how you doing, buddy?
going on, man?
I like your book a lot, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really great book.
Cool.
What's up, man?
Pleased to meet you.
What's happening?
I'm Brian. How are you, man?
How's it going,
Pleased to
man?
meet you.
You guys have a good trip?
Yeah, man. It was,
I first met Joe Rogan about a year ago when he had me out to LA to do his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience. We had an immediate connection, and his interest in hunting was not something I could ignore.
This dummy was convinced that all this erosion was because of large-scale mining operations.
No.
what do you know about this area?
We keep saying we keep saying the breaks, like the breaks. So it's like that just name comes from the broken nature of the landscape.
Well, I've got to see. I'll research. I'll do my own.
Along for the ride is one of Joe's best friends, Bryan Callen, who's also had a long career in film and comedy. Seeing how teaching two guys to hunt at the same time would be a little much for just one person, I brought along my buddy Ryan Callahan to help us out. Ryan is a seasoned hunter, he knows this area well, and he's one of the most stand-up guys you're gonna encounter in the woods.
All right, well, let's figure out your guys' gear. I just want to hustle, and I want to get down so we're not camping at a river access. I want to get down to a good camp area.
Cool.
I chose this place because I wanted these guys to experience not just a hunt, but also an honest adventure that would take them well outside of their usual sets of experiences. Many people can go through their lives without ever experiencing real wilderness, and this stretch of river that we're going to float has little to no access for about 40 miles. Plus, it's late October, and temperatures here can really start to fall at this time of year. Just packing for a trip like this is in and of itself a skill, and these guys are not shy about the fact that they're a little green.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
This is one hat that I got, man, but I got a really cool one, and it had a face mask attached to it, and they didn't put it in the bag.
Really? Yeah, that's almost like a little too left wing for hunting. It'll work though, man.
Too left wing? It's comfortable. Let me see. Yeah, I look like I could go vegan on you.
Yeah, you might go on a Peruvian vision class, man, but it'll work.
The interesting thing about being in a teaching role is I have to remind myself to explain even the little things that I normally take for granted.
What you guys are gonna find is a lot of sitting, punctuated by a lot of like very strenuous up and down stuff. We're gonna be on the top of this stuff. We're gonna be going from the bottom to the top and then down and back to the top and down all over the place.
Wow.
We're gonna be covering massive ground. So with that said, you gotta plan on sometimes you're gonna be hot, sometimes you're gonna be cold.
Okay.
So it's really finding that sweet spot.
By the way, I'm open. Don't think I'm some cocky. I'll listen to whatever you say, man. Well, I'll definitely do something ridiculous, but whatever you say, I will listen to. I'm not one of those guys who's like, whatever, Steve, just because you've written books and you've been hunting your whole life. I'm from New York.
Has there ever been a show where they took two comedians hunting?
I don't think so.
It's not really a subject that comedians really dabble in.
You're right.
I think
Comedic
we're
pair.
the first comedian hunters on TV.
I think you're right, brother.
We have to be successful now.
No,
That's a lot of
and I don't
pressure.
look like I could shoot a gun.
We're standing up for all the different comedians
Yeah.
now.
You know that unified bunch. You know that athletic unified bunch. Comedians.
We want to get on the water and then paddle downstream until we see good huntable terrain on both river right and river left. Thanks to remoteness, aridity, and deeply incised terrain, the breaks have always resisted large-scale settlement. Much of this area is covered with soft, expandable clays known as gumbo. When it gets wet from drizzle or melting snow, it can be a nightmare to travel on. It was one of the last bastions of the true Wild West, a place where 19th century horse thieves came to hide out from the ever-expanding reach of law.
One of the things you're looking for, as much as you're looking for a spot that might have deer, is you're looking for an area where you're going to be able to travel on foot and continuously be in good deer area.
From the river, I find what I'm looking for, a flat campsite with access to a large expanse of huntable ground where we can split up into groups and get hunting.
The reason I like this is there's like a big huntable valley that way and a big huntable valley that way. It looks good.
I could talk to these guys for days about how to hunt, but that's no substitute for actually getting out on the land. We drop camp, pitch tents, and get our gear ready to go. Joe and Bryan are 100% committed, which is a good thing because this river only flows one direction. But they really have no idea what they're getting into. For these guys, out here, everything is a first. We've covered some river miles, and we've got a temporary camp set up in good mule deer country.
All right, well, you guys are gonna go up, hunt that. In the hunting world, we like to say, you guys will go up and hunt that country.
With your shooting iron.
Take your shooting iron, hunt that country out. Then we're gonna go take our iron and hunt this country out.
To be honest, I like where you're going better than I like where I'm going. I've got a good feeling about this area. The good news is Bryan is so loud, him talking will scare anything that's in that area towards us.
I love you.
Love you, buddy.
Let's rock and roll. Let's do it.
Traditionally, hunting was a discipline passed down from generation to generation, father to son, and that's exactly how I learned the basics. But not everyone grew up under such circumstances, and many folks who are curious about hunting but lack that background are met with frustration and insurmountable challenge when they try to learn. In my opinion, hunters who care about wildlife and our nation's hunting legacy should make sure to mentor these would-be hunter conservationists. Today's student is tomorrow's ally.
What I'd like to do is, like we've blown so much stink up here, but eventually we'll go top out and we'll be looking on the neighboring drainage. We'll also see what we can see from up top. But in this wind, I expect that deer are gonna be bedded in these little timbered bowls up here where it's quiet. Mainly we just wanna get where we can, if we can find a spot where we can see a ton of ground, we'll find where some herds are.
For a guy that makes his living talking, Joe doesn't make a peep when it comes to hunting. He's all business. He's taken everything in. Unfortunately, our first deer hunt is a little short on an important ingredient: deer. Meanwhile, across the ridge, Bryan and Ryan are having a little more luck.
That's a big buck. Big buck.
Yeah, did you see the size of that buck? Okay, so now can you look? Can you keep your crosshairs comfortably on that creek bottom? He's gonna come through right here. Oh, there he is, there he is. Where is he? Don't shoot, don't shoot. I don't see any horns. No horns on that one. That's a doe. That's a doe. What a shame. There's a buck down there somewhere, though, I'm telling you. There's a buck. Yeah, there's a lot moving up that hillside there. I don't see horns on any of them. Okay, on the right-hand side, that last butt is that white dot. Yeah. That's a little buck. See him moving up the trail? Yeah, there he is. I don't know if that's a buck. Yeah, that's a bump. That's a bump. Bryan, we're gonna hold off on this one. Yeah, far. Yeah, it's a little far.
At this distance, with a walking animal, it's best for Bryan to hold off.
Man, that would have been nice. It's all right, man. We'll get into them.
I'm obsessed.
You're obsessed.
Yeah, I can see why people get obsessed with hunting.
Yeah.
Everything is against you. The deer match the landscape. You can't crawl because you got cactus everywhere. It's cold. I don't want to take my glove off to shoot the deer. The deer shows up and goes, see ya. It's like literally like they should call hunting deer psych. Deer's like, psych.
So as our day draws to an end, Joe and Bryan have learned the first lesson of almost any new venture: disappointment. Bryan and Ryan got eyes on deer, but had to let them go, while Joe and I ended up going the whole afternoon without a single sighting.
I got kind of mixed feelings about how bad of a day we had. I mean, it was a good day, but bad hunt. On one hand, obviously we want to get a deer. But on the other hand, if you get one on your first day, it's lame.
Why is that lame?
Because you won't have like the sense of accomplishment.
Oh, don't worry. I'll have plenty of sense of accomplishment. We've walked about 7 hours today. Don't worry about it.
Okay, good.
I have a good way of rationalizing things.
Because I actually saw a ton of deer. I just didn't show them because I wanted you to.
Appreciate it.
I wanted you to build up your, sense of accomplishment.
It's a cold, sharp morning with temperatures in the single digits. Too cold to do anything but get our legs moving and get after some deer. Today, we get lucky early on and get our eyes on a couple of bucks.
There's 2 bucks right up there. There's a third one. I think they're just a little too far for you to shoot it. We'll inch ahead a little bit, make sure there's not another one in here. Let's go hit that next valley before the wind shifts.
For me, it feels weird to be telling Joe not to shoot at a deer that an experienced marksman could put down. But this is all part of learning. You have to develop patience. Joe has proven himself to be a great student. He's paying attention to me, but more importantly, he's paying attention to the landscape. He's absorbing the experience. I find that showing someone the ropes of hunting makes me a more informed hunter. Here I'm required to articulate the very basics of hunting, things that seem like second nature to me, but that are completely unfamiliar to the uninitiated.
In hunting, like open ground where there's a lot of big vistas, it's just impossible to cover all the ground on foot. So the reason I like little spots like this, you got a lot of stuff you're looking at. So find something where your back can get a good something, and knees like this with your binoculars, and try to work grids. I would very methodically work that patch of timber with your binoculars. Then I might go across and work that little visible patch of timber. Then I jump over here and take this mountain and just go across, down, back, overlapping every time until you look at every inch of it. I'll just keep checking the same thing again and again. It might be on your 4th pass, you realize there's deer standing there.
While Joe and I continue busting up and down these valleys, the other guys again get on top of some deer.
Yeah, there's a group of deer in there.
Yeah.
Doe and 2 fawns. Oh, that's a little buck. See that white butt right there? Last I saw him there in that real thick sage, right on the bank of the river, moving this way. Here, they're right in front of us. Come on. Down, 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 down.
They're swimming away. I mean, how are you supposed to do that? These guys actually had the audacity to get in the water in this weather. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's obnoxious. Oh, God, now I know why people raise cows.
As any seasoned hunter will tell you, patience and persistence are critical. Keep hunting, and good things will happen.
Mule deer there. Joe. That's a buck down there. Let's keep this ridge between us and the deer. Then we'll move up and see if we can find a good place to take a peek over. Do you think he saw you? No, he wasn't looking at us. He doesn't know we're here. The wind sucks, but I don't think the wind's gonna go like down into the bottom. Just blow across the top, I hope.
Approaching a deer from a canyon rim directly above can be tricky.
Let's jump ahead. I don't know.
Typically the wind's in your favor, but it's very hard to camouflage skylined movements.
Quick. Let him stop. I can't get him quite in the scope. Tell me if you can find him in the crosshair. Wait. Damn it, I had him.
We bumped the buck on our first approach. Not bad, he just knows something's not quite right. We race ahead another 100 yards to catch up with him.
Yep, I got him. Let him turn, let him turn. I'm gonna try to turn him. I don't know if it'll work. There you go.
You dropped him in his tracks. I can't believe it. You dropped him. I can't believe it. Wow. You know what? You got good control, man, because I saw you were going to do it, and then you thought twice and didn't, and then you caught your breath and stuff. That was amazing. Good job, man.
Thanks, brother.
Let's go get up there and find him.
It was a hell of a shot, considering that Joe's never fired at anything besides paper. But as we get up to the buck, we see that the job ain't done.
You got him in the backbone. You gotta shoot him again.
Anyone who's done any amount of real hunting knows that all shots are not fatal. We've all had it happen. A few inches off in any direction, and the story of your hunt takes a different turn.
Shoot him right behind the shoulder. That's good. I'll just give him a second.
It's a tough lesson for Joe's first hunt, but it's an important one that he handles with grace. Now, I don't care if it's your first hunt or your 50th. This is a beautiful mule deer buck.
Good job, man.
Thanks.
That was not an easy hunt, man.
No, that was legit. That wasn't waiting in front of a feeder.
Yeah.
Wow, what an experience. I've been wanting to hunt for years now, so much so that people are tired of me talking about it. And being able to do it this way on your show, you know, I mean, I think what you do, the way you do it, the idea of fair chase, it's very admirable. This is the most ethical, the most honest the most real way to do it. This is awesome, man. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this, man.
Oh man, it's not as much as me. Okay, so we'll take this nice and slow.
So far, it's been a great hunt. Heartbreak, surprise, suspense, exhaustion, a few laughs. All of the elements that make hunting into something that's worth doing.
Just like you're doing, right down to the bone. Yep, you got it. Excellent.
It's been the perfect experience for these guys' first time, but it's not over yet. Since it's getting dark, I showed Joe how to get his animal gutted out. I decide that we'll just take a few organs for our meal and put the rest of the buck up into a tree. Then we head back down to meet the others at camp. There's work to be done and meat to be eaten. We're only halfway through this adventure, and tomorrow is a new day.